بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. We'll start today, inshallah, with the second pillar, al-rukn al-thani, from the pillars of faith, the 6 pillars of faith. From Ad-Durus al-Muhamma li'amat al-Ummah, by Shaykh bin Baz, rahimahullah ta'ala, by Shaykh Abdul Razak, Ibn Abdul Muhsin al-Abbad, his explanation. So last week we did al-Asl al-Awwal, or al-Rukn al-Awwal, the first pillar, which was al-Iman billah. And this pillar is usually translated the pillars of faith, 6 pillars of faith. This pillar is the second pillar, al-Asl al-Thani, al-Imanu bil-Malaika, belief in the angels, how to believe in the angels. So what he's going to do in the beginning of the chapter is basically give us the qawaid, the principles of how to believe in the angels and how not to believe in the angels. That's the first thing. So he says, al-Malaika khalqun min khalqillah, that the Malaika are part of the creation. Number 1. They don't disobey Allah. La ya'sun Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala ma amarahum wa yaf'aluna ma yu'marun. And that comes in the ayat that he's going to mention later, that the angels don't disobey Allah, but they only carry out exactly what they're commanded to do. And that ayat is going to come again. La ya'lamu iddatuhum illa alladhi khalaqahum tabaraka wa ta'ala. No one knows the exact number of the angels except for the one who created them, Allah Jalla wa'ala. So now he brings, how do we believe in the angels? وَالْمَطْلُوبُ مِنَّا فِي بَابِ الْإِيمَانِ بِالْمَلَائِكَةِ أَن نُؤْمِنَ بِالْمَلَائِكَةِ إِجْمَالًا فِيمَا أُجْمِلْ وَتَفْصِيلًا فِيمَا فُصِّلْ. So the belief in the angels, as the angels are mentioned in 2 ways in the Quran and in the Sunnah. Either they're mentioned with detail or they're mentioned generally. Father? Either they're mentioned in detail or it's a general mention of the angels. So what do we have to do? Whatever is mentioned in detail, we believe in that detail that was mentioned. And whatever is mentioned generally, we believe in was mentioned generally. And he's going to bring examples. And this applies if we're talking about the asma, fil asma, the names of the angels, wal a'dad, numbers of the angels, how many angels, wal awsaf, the description of the angels, the descriptions of the angels, or al-wadha'if, the jobs, the angels, and what are they commanded to carry out. Whatever some of the angels have different jobs. Allah commanded them with different jobs. So the first thing, he says, فَمَثَلًا أَسْمَاءُ الْمَلَائِكَةِ, the names of the angels. لَمْ يُذْكَرْ فِي النُّصُوصِ إِلَّا أَسْمَاءُ بَعْضِهِمْ, that the names of the angels, we don't find the names of the angels except some. We only find in the text, in the Quran and in the Sunnah, some names of some angels. Not every name is mentioned in the Quran, and not every name is mentioned in the Sunnah of all of the angels. We only find some names mentioned. مثلا Jibreel. Jibreel is mentioned specifically in the Quran and in the Sunnah. Alright, we know the famous hadith of Jibreel, the man who came in all white, jet black hair, no signs of travel, nobody knew him. He asked the Prophet ﷺ the 3 questions. So Jibreel's name ﷺ was mentioned. Detail. So we have to believe in Jibreel specifically with that name and what he does, the things he does. Mikael, the other angel, Mikael, which was been entrusted with the rain. Israfil, who's been entrusted with the blowing of the horn. Munkar wa Nakir, the 2 angels that come and question the person in the grave. The names that are mentioned فهذه الأسماء تفصيلية التي وردت في الكتاب أو وردت في السنة. These names were specifically mentioned in the text, either in the Quran and in the Sunnah. So what do? نؤمن بها تفصيلا كما وردت. We believe in these names exactly how they came in the Quran and how they came in the Sunnah. Just how they came in the Quran and how they came in the Sunnah. وما لم يأتي من أسمائهم تفصيلا نؤمن به إجمالا. And the other angels that have other jobs and their names weren't mentioned, we still believe in those angels generally. Clear? Either the names, if it's going to be a specific name is going to be mentioned of the angel, or his name is not going to be mentioned. Either way, we believe in the angel, regardless. Either, if it's mentioned with detail, we believe in that detail that was mentioned in the text, whether it's in the Quran or in the authentic hadith. If it was mentioned generally in the Quran, we believe in it as it was mentioned generally in the Quran, or if it was mentioned generally in the hadith. طيب. Next he says, those names that they include all of the angels. For example, we have Jibril, we have Israfil, we have Mikael, we have specific names of the angels. Then we have other names for the angels. He says, كذلك الأسماء التي تشمل الملائكة كلهم. The names that include all of the angels, we believe in those too. For example, sometimes Allah says Malaika, the angels, generally like that. We believe in them. Yes, they're angels. Allah has angels. We believe in them. Or He gives them another name. He doesn't call them angels, but He calls them Rusulullah, the messengers of Allah. The angels, Allah refers to them as the messengers of Allah. We believe in those names. That what the angels are also referred to as messengers of Rusulullah. Al-Kiramu, Al-Barara, Al-Safara. The different names that are mentioned in the text, in the Quran or in the Sunnah, it might not say Malaika. It might have another name that Allah refers to them as. We believe in those names also, as well as the normal name the Malaika, the name of Malaika that most people know, the angels. So if it comes with a different name, it's upon us. We believe in those names as they came in the text, whether it's the Quran or in the Sunnah. So, the general principle here is everything that is mentioned in detail, we believe in it in detail. So if a name is specifically mentioned, we believe, yes, there is an angel. His name is, for example, Jibril. And Jibril is the angel that was entrusted with the revelation. And he is the angel that came in the form of a man in the famous hadith of Jibril. That's called the hadith of Jibril. As the Prophet ﷺ said at the end of the hadith, Hada Jibril. He said that this was Jibril, he came to teach you your religion. We believe specifically with that detail in that angel. طيب. So those are the names. Now, the original principle is that whatever comes with detail, we believe in it in detail. Whatever comes general, we believe in it in general. Whether it's regarding the names, as we just said, now we're going to move to the next one. That same principle applies when we talk about Awsaf al-Malaika, the descriptions of the angels. What do they look like? And this is important because, according to TV or what people may have been raised on, we might think an angel looks a certain way based on what they've shown us, which may not be accurate. So our belief is not based on what we were shown by people who may not share the same belief system that we share. Our belief in the angels, how they look, the description of the angels is based on revelation, the text, the Quran, and in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. So now, when we talk about Awsaf al-Malaika, نؤمن تفصيلا بما جاءت به النصوص مفصلة في ذكر أوصاف الملائكة. Whatever came in the Quran or in the Sunnah, mentioning the details of the angels and the description of the angels, with that detail, we believe in that detail, as it's mentioned in the Quran or in the Sunnah. Same thing as we said about the names. and whatever doesn't have any detail to it, then we believe in it generally. We believe in them generally. And this is important here. وَلَا نَخُوضُ فِي تَفَاصِيلٍ لَا دَلِيلَ عَلَيْهَا مِنْ كِتَابٍ وَلَا سُنَّةٍ. And we don't dig in or try to delve into something that we have no text to support it. We can't describe an angel based on something and we don't have anything from the Quran or anything from the Sunnah to support that description. And for this reason, وَلِهَذَا لَا يَجُوزُ لِلْإِنسَانِ أَنْ يَصِفَ الْمَلَائِكَةَ بِأَيِّ وَصْفٍ إِلَّا بِدَلِيلٍ. So it's not permissible for a person to describe an angel with any description except that they have dalil. Why is this? Why is it not permissible for a person to describe an angel except that he has a dalil from the Quran to say the angel looks like this? It's important. Yes?
Because only Allah has the knowledge of how the angels are.
Jade. Because Allah only has knowledge of their descriptions, how the angels look. Meaning the angels are from what? Huh?
From Allah.
Huh?
Like the creation of Allah.
What do you say, Shit?
I say from light, created from light.
Not create what they're created from, but they're a part of al-ghayb, the unseen. The angels are from the unseen. So if the angels are from the unseen, how do we know, how can we make confirmation of what they look like? They're from the unseen. This is from the belief of Muslims, from the unseen, from the al-ghayb. For this reason, وَسِيلَتُنَا فِي مَعْرِفَةِ هَذَا الْغَيْبِ مِنْ خِلَالِ الْوَحْيِ. The only way we can know about this unseen portion is from the revelation. Whatever the revelation tells us, this is how we understand and we know about the unseen portion. And the malaika are from the unseen. We don't have any description. We can't make any confirmation except by the Quran or by the Sunnah, the revelation, as the Sunnah is part of the revelation. So the same thing applies. Whatever came in detail, whatever came in detail regarding the descriptions of the angels, we believe in that detail. But we can't give detail to an angel unless we have dalil from the Quran or from the Sunnah. We can't give a detail. We can't describe an angel based on what we think an angel looks like, except that we have dalil. As the angels are from the unseen, and the only way to know from anything from the unseen is that we are informed through revelation. Tayyib. He says, and the same thing, we don't delve into or try to describe something that we have no knowledge of, because we don't have any knowledge of what the unseen looks like because it's unseen. And then he brings the ayat, وَلَا تَقْفُوا مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادَ كُلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا. This ayat is in Surah Al-Isra, ayat number 36, where Allah said, and there's many different explanations of this ayat in the tafsir. وَلَا تَقْفُوا مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ. Ibn Kathir brings a statement of Ibn Abbas and some of the other ulama of tafsir. So this is قال علي ibn Abi Talha عن Ibn Abbas. Everybody know Ibn Abbas. What was Ibn Abbas famous for? Ibn Abbas.
Tafsir Quran.
There you go, Tafsir al-Quran. Ibn Abbas, from the Sahaba, the companions that were famous for the tafsir explaining the Quran. And Imam al-Dhahabi brought a narration from Ibn Abbas where he said that the Prophet ﷺ grabbed him. The Prophet ﷺ grabbed Ibn Abbas, he held him, and he made dua to Allah to give Ibn Abbas hikmah, to give him wisdom. And then another one, he made dua that Allah give him understanding of the Quran, Ibn Abbas. Radiallahu anhuma. Ibn Abbas said about this ayat, وَلَا تَقْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ. He said, لَا تَقُولْ. Don't say something. Don't say something that you don't have knowledge of. Don't say something that you don't have knowledge of. Allah musta'an. قال العوفي عنه. Ibn Abbas also said, we see from the statements of Ibn Abbas, the Sahabi, that we apply this stuff right now, and we fall short big time. don't say what you don't have any knowledge of, as Allah said in the Quran. Or Allah said, the meaning of the ayat, وَلَا تَرْمِ أَحَدًا بِمَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ. And don't accuse someone of something. Don't accuse a person of something and you don't have any knowledge about that thing that you're accusing them of. You're not really sure. And we live in a time where we accuse people all day. This one's that, he did this. Huh? Well, Allah said, وَلَا تَقْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ. Ibn Abbas said, don't say what you have no knowledge of. And Ibn Abbas also said, don't accuse a person of something that you don't have knowledge about the thing. Another tafsir, it says, يعني شهادة الزور. Don't be a false witness to something. لا تقفوا ما ليس لك به علم. Don't be a false witness to something. Don't bear witness to something that you really either didn't see the thing, you didn't hear the thing, you don't really know. But a lot of times we ride on the strength, that's my man, I know he wouldn't lie. And bear witness on something like that. And they got to come Yom Al-Qiyamah, stand before Allah based on what your man that you go back with, that he might be trustworthy, but he might not always be trustworthy. You got to stand before Allah with that. There was a time I was able to sit in the courtroom in Saudi during a live hearing. So the judge asked the guy brought his 2 witnesses. It was about some property. He wanted to get some property. All right? So he brought his 2 witnesses to the courtroom. So he brought the 2 witnesses in and he asked them, this is live court, this is court. Islamic judges, court system, Sharia. So he asked the judge, he asked the witness, the judge asked the witness, can you affirm the witness now? He asked him a series of questions. And he was trying to make confirmation that this person knew. You sure that this house belongs to this man? You sure? So this is what he's trying to get to. So he asked him a bunch of questions about his family, a bunch of questions. He thought you asked him that. Did you see the brother that we talking about go inside of that house? Did you ever see him go inside of that house? No, I never saw him. Did you ever see him coming out of the house? No. How can you, so the judge asked, he said to the person, now he said to the person who brought these 2 witnesses, he said, listen, get witnesses who can confirm that they saw somebody go, they saw your family member that we talked about in that door, that house, and come out of that house. Why would you bring somebody, now he's talking to the witnesses, why would you bring somebody and for you to witnesses that you have to stand on Yom Al-Qiyamah bearing witness, you standing here bearing witness in the court before Allah. You're going to bear witness before Allah to something that you really didn't see? Now you got to stand before Allah Yom Al-Qiyamah and answer for testifying about something that you didn't see? There's money involved in that property. So if we give that property to you based on your false testimony, you take somebody's right that's not rightfully yours, and the witness says, Sahih. He fell back. He said, you know what? We'll come back. And we go get some other witnesses, and we come back. Shahadat al-Zur, false testimony. And this stuff is relevant. It's relevant now. It's relevant now. People ask you to be a witness to something, we think because we go back, we can slide stuff under the rug. But Yawm al-Qiyamah, we held accountable for it. Qala Qatada. Qatada is another famous Imam al-Tafsir. Qala Qatada, where Allah said, وَلَا تَقْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ. Qatada said, لَا تَقُولُوا رَأَيْتُ وَلَمْ تَرَى. Don't say that I saw something and you didn't see it. Qatada, number 1. Don't say you saw something, I saw something, and you didn't see it. Then he said, وَسَمِعْتُ وَلَمْ تَسْمَعْ. Don't say you heard something and you didn't hear it. I heard the brother say that. But where he said, I can't remember. I know I heard him say it. You sure? I heard the sister say this. The sister said this. We destroy each other based on qila wa qal. He said and she said. He said, Qatada, وَعَلِمْتُ مَا لَمْ تَعْلَمْ. And I know. Don't say I know something and you know you don't know what you're talking about. Sometimes we're afraid to say, I don't know. La adri. and Imam Malik rahimahullah, from the Imams of Ahl Sunnah, it's known that people travel to Imam Malik months, asking him 30, 40 questions in one narration. He answered 4 or 6. The other 30 something, he said, I don't know. Imam Malik. We do a quick Google search and we on top of the world. Allah musta'an. We do a search in Google and we would just blow the masjid away. Allah musta'an. Tayyib. Qatada said, don't say something don't say you know something that you don't know. And then he said, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ سَائِلُكَ عَنْ ذَلِكَ كُلِّهِ. Because Allah is going to ask you about all of that. What you say you saw, what you say you heard, what you say you knew. Qatada said, Allah sa'iluka. Allah is going to ask us about all of those things. And this is the tafsir of the ayat. We're talking about the principle of the angels. Don't say about the angels what you don't know. What we know about the angels is what came in the Quran and what came in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Anything besides that, we stop. We believe in them generally as Allah mentioned them or as the Prophet ﷺ mentioned them. طيب من أوصاف الملائكة على وجه التفسير. Now he's going to bring some of the descriptions that I mentioned that we have to believe in. Why do we have to believe in these descriptions? Because they came in detail. And if they come in detail, we believe in them in detail. So he brings the hadith. ما جاء في الحديث الصحيح عن نبينا صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال أذن لي أن أحدث عن ملك من ملائكة الله من حملة العرش. He said, I was given permission to speak about an angel from the angels that will carry the throne of Allah Jalla wa Ala. The angels that will carry the throne of Allah Jalla wa Ala. Now he's going to describe them. The Prophet ﷺ is going to describe that angel. He's going to describe one of those angels. Does anybody know how many angels will carry the throne? 8. وَيَحْمِلُ عَرْشَ رَبِّكَ يَوْمَئِذٍ 8. Surah Al-Haqqa. طيب. The Prophet ﷺ is going to describe the angel now. He said about this angel, إِنَّمَا بَيْنَ شَحْمَةِ الْأُذُنِهِ إِلَى عَاتِقِهِ مَسِيرَةُ 700 عام. He said about this angel, from the earlobe of the angel to the angel's shoulder, from his earlobe to his shoulder, is a distance of 700 years traveling. From the angel's earlobe to his shoulder is a distance of 700 years traveling. This hadith أخرجه Abu Dawud, is in the Sunan of Abi Dawud. صححه al-Albani fi الصحيحة. Imam al-Albani rahimahullah graded the hadith authentic. طيب. In this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ mentions specific descriptions of the angel. What's one description that we could take from the hadith? Between the earlobe of the angel and his shoulder is a distance of 700 years traveling. So the hadith shows that what? It's huge. That's the last one he said. عِظَمُ الْخَلْقِ. The greatness of that creation, the angel. How huge it is. What else? From that hadith right there. It's an earlobe. The Prophet ﷺ said, from the angel's earlobe, from his earlobe to his what? Shoulder. So that angel has what? An earlobe and a shoulder. Ithbat. And this is what he says. وَهَذَا فِيهِ إِثْبَاتِ الْعَاتِقِ. This confirms that this angel has a shoulder, وَالْأُذْنِ, and that he has an ear, and also that he has an earlobe. And then like the Sheikh said, وَعِدُمُ الْخَلْقِ, and how great the creation, that angel is, how big it is. To the point that if a bird, as he says here, فَلَوْ أَنَّ الطَّيْرَ طَارَ مِنْ عَاتِقِ الْمَلِكِ مُتَّجِهًا إِلَى شَحْمَةِ الْأُذُنِهِ, and if that angel were to fly from the shoulder to the earlobe, between that angel, that space there, he would need يحتاج إلى 700 سنة. He would need 700 years to cover that distance. SubhanAllah. This detail that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, we have to believe in it like that. We can't deny the statement of the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ is explaining to us the description of this angel. He says, I was given permission to describe one of these angels. He's describing one of them. So we believe in this angel. He didn't mention the name. He mentioned the description in detail. What is his name? He didn't mention the name, not in this hadith. So if we stuck with this hadith only, we believe what? We don't know a name, but we believe, yes, there's an angel that's going to be carrying the throne. And if a bird were to fly between his shoulder and his earlobe, it would take 700 years. Thus, it's not upon us to make up a name or make up anything else outside of what came in the revelation. طيب. He says, وَمِنْ أَوْصَافِهِمْ أَنَّهُمْ خُلِقُوا مِنْ نُورٍ. Also, as you said earlier, Sheikh, that they were created from light. How do we know they're created from light? It's a hadith, but it's a text. We have a text that says the angels were created from light. There you are. We have dalil. We have dalil telling us that the angels were created from light. We don't just come up and say, well, the angels are so beautiful. They're so pure, they must be created from something. They can't be like us. We have text. He says, كما في الحديث عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, خلقت الملائكة من نور. That the malaika were created from nur, from light. This hadith أخرجه Muslim is in Sahih Muslim. And Sahih Muslim is which book to the Muslims, as we said in this class?
The most authentic book.
The most authentic after the Quran. Number 2? Sah? Number 2? Number 3. Sheikh says number 3. What's number 2? Hey, Sahih al-Bukhari. The Quran is the most authentic book. Sahih al-Bukhari, number 2. Sahih Muslim, number 3, even though there's some khilaf there, we'll leave it for here. What we talking about, we say Bukhari 2 and Muslim 3. Like that hadith is in Sahih Muslim, that the angels are created from light. So we have dalil, we have a text showing that description. Therefore, we can say comfortably as Muslims, the angels are created from light. They have no problem. Why? Because our Prophet ﷺ said, خُلِقَتَ الْمَلَائِكَةِ مِن نُورٍ. Our Prophet ﷺ said the angels are created from light. And this is what we say, the angels are created from light. طيب. وَأَنَّ لَهُمْ. Question. Do the angels have wings? The angels have wings. طيب. Do we have dalil? طيب. صح. وَأَنَّ لَهُمْ أَجْنِهَا. And that they have wings. And he brings the ayat. This ayat is in Surah Fatir. Surah Fatir, the first ayat. جَاعِلَ الْمَلَائِكَةِ رُسُلًا أُولِي الْأَجْنِهَا. That we made the angels messengers and that they have wings. In Surah Fatir, the first ayat. And then Allah said about them, مَثْنَا وَثُلَاثَ وَرُبَاعَ. Some of them have 2 wings. As it says in the Tafsir ibn Kathir, some of them have 2 wings. Some of them have 3 wings. Some of them have 4 wings. Surah Fatir, the first ayat. Allah said that we created the angels, messengers, and that they have wings. Some of them have 2, 3, and some of them have 4. And then Allah said at the end of the ayat, يُزِيدُ فِي الْخَلْقِ مَا يَشَاءُ. And He increases from His creation as He likes. And then the Tafsir says some of the angels have more than 4. Some of the angels have even more than 4. And just to show the specifics. Now he brings the hadith that shows us that some of the angels have more than 4. Because it says that in the ayah, now we have a specific hadith. قال عبد الله بن مسعود رضي الله عنه. He brings the hadith which أخرجه أحمد. Imam Ahmed recorded. And it has other hadith. This hadith says قال عبد الله بن مسعود رأى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم جبريل في صورته. That the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم saw the angel Jibril, the same one that came in the form of a man. He saw him in his surah as an angel. He said, وَلَهُ سِتُّمِئَ جَنَاحٍ, and he had 600 wings. Allahu Akbar. Allah. He has 600 wings. Showing that Allah said in the ayat, 2 wings, meaning 2 wings, could be 3 wings, could be 4 wings, and then after that, Allah said, يَزِيدُ فِي الْخَلْقِ مَا يَشَاءُ, and He increases His creation as He likes. And in the tafsir it mentions this hadith, that some of the angels have more than the 2, 3, and 4 that were mentioned in the ayat. Right. So, what do? We believe in those details. Those details are mentioned in the Sunnah or in the Quran. We believe in them. Some of the angels have 2, some have 3, some have 4. The other hadith says that that angel had, Jibril, had 600. We believe in those details that are specified in the revelation. We don't have to guess. We don't have to draw pictures and make up stuff. We don't have to imagine. We take what's in the revelation, in the Quran and in the Sunnah. Tayyib. Now he moves on to A'dad al-Malaika. The number. How many angels are there? We know how many angels are there. We know the names. Let's just say, for example, if we knew the names of 20 angels, right? We stop and say, okay, there are 20 angels. Those are the angels that we know the names of. So the same rule applies. We believe in the specifics and we believe in the generality of the angels when they're spoken about. And he says the same thing. إِجْمَالًا نُؤْمِنُ بِأَنَّ عَدَدَهُمْ لَا يُحْصِيهِ إِلَّا الَّذِي خَلَقَهُم. We generally believe that no one knows the exact number except the one who created them, which is Allah Jalla wa Ala. In the ayat, in Surah Al-Muddathir, ayat 31, Allah said, مَا يَعْلَمُ جُنُودَ رَبِّكَ إِلَّا هُ. And no one knows the number of those angels إِلَّا هُ. Because in the previously in that ayat, Allah mentioned that there were 19 angels guarding the hellfire. 19 angels around the hellfire. So then Allah came after that and said in the same ayat, لا يعلم. And no one knows the specific number إِلَّا هُ, except Him. So that a person doesn't come and think it's only 19. No, those 19 are designated to do that. No one knows the total number except Allah Jalla wa Ala. Surah Al-Muddathir, ayat number 31. And that ayat shows the greatness of the Malaika. And there's another hadith he brings now. We're talking about the number now. We already spoke about the names, right? How to believe in the names, and the general rule still applies. Whatever's detail, we believe in that detail. If it's general, we still believe in them generally. Then we spoke about the description of the angels. Now we're talking about the number. So number 1, no one knows the exact number of all of the angels except for Allah. As Allah said in Surah Al-Muddathir, ayah number 31. طيب. To show kathara, to the azima, the malaika, to show how many angels, the great number of angels there are, is a hadith in the qissa, the story of al-Isra, when the Prophet ﷺ was taken on the ascension. Right? So the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned about al-Bayt al-Ma'mur. Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur. You want to know al-Bayt al-Ma'mur? Bayt al-Ma'mur. Tafsir is in Surah Al-Tur. Briefly, Ibn Kathir mentions that Ibn Kathir is a major, it's a well-known tafsir in the Islamic world. It says right here. It's translated. You go back to Ibn Kathir and see what Allah means in those ayats. Make sure that we understand the ayats correctly. Ibn Kathir mentioned about al-Bayt al-Ma'mur, which comes in Surah Al-Tur, and I think the 3rd ayat, in the beginning, between the first 4 ayats in Surah Al-Tur. I think this is Surah 53. Ibn Kathir said, قال, about this Bayt al-Ma'mur, يتعبدون فيه ويطوفون كما يطوف أهل الأرض بكعبتهم. There are people here that they do what? They worship in this house and they make tawaf in his house the same way that the people on the earth pray towards the Kaaba and make tawaf around the Kaaba. He said, and al-Bayt al-Ma'mur huwa al-Ka'batu ahl al-Sama'at al-Sabi'a. It is the Kaaba for those people in the seventh heaven. Those people in the seventh heaven, they have the same way we have a Kaaba, they have a Kaaba. Right? Everybody with me? Because this hadith is talking about the angels that are there. So, this al-Bayt al-Ma'mur, which is in Surah Al-Tur, you go back and look at tafsir. This Bayt is in the seventh heaven, right? And it is the Kaaba for the people in the seventh heaven, the same way we have a Kaaba that we face and pray. But the Prophet ﷺ said, فَقُلْتُ, he said, I said, Ya Jibreel, ma hada. He asked Jibreel, what is this? قَالَ هَذَا الْبَيْتُ الْمَعْمُورِ. Jibreel said, this is al-Bayt al-Ma'mur. Now Jibreel explains it, alayhi salam. Jibreel says, يَدْخُلُهُ كُلَّ يَوْمٍ سَبْعُونَ أَلْفْ مَلَكٍ. Every day, 7,000 angels enter into the Bayt al-Ma'mur. Every day. Then Jibreel said, alayhi salam, إِذَا خَرَجُوا مِنْهُ لَمْ يَعُودُوا فِيهِ آخِرُ مَا عَلَيْهِمْ. He said, and when they all leave, when those angels leave out of that house, none of those angels, that 7,000 entered, none of them come back. The same angel doesn't come back. You with me? Huh? That shows the number is a great number. You figure it's 7,000 angels every day going in, making tawaf, worshiping, and when they come and they leave, another 7,000, not the same 7, another 7,000. This hadith, akhrajahu al-Bukhari wa Muslim. It's in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. Which shows the great number, showing the great number of the angels, that only Allah knows the exact number. We have angels going into the Bayt al-Ma'mur every day. For how many years? Angels guarding the hellfire, angels controlling this, Allah knows the specific number. So these details is upon the Muslim. The Muslim has to believe in those details the way they came in the text. You can't deny what comes in the revelation. What comes in the revelation, we make it that. We affirm what came in the revelation, and we stop there. If it's specifics like this number is specific. This is a specific number. The Prophet ﷺ said, the angel Jibreel ﷺ said in this hadith, يَدْخُلُهُ كُلَّ يَوْمٍ سَبْعُونَ. I'm sorry, 70. I said how many?
7.
I said 70,000. I'm sorry. 70 ألف. Not 7,000, 70,000.
I started to ask you
That was my mistake. Then you had them.
Shucks.
We all fall short. 70 ألف ملك. SubhanAllah. So 70,000 come in, and none of those 70,000 come back the next day. طيب. He says, فَهَذَا مِمَّا يَدُلُّ عَلَى كَثْرَةِ الْمَلَائِكَةِ. This shows the greatness and number of the malaika. So we believe in these numbers the way they came in the text. And he brings another ayah. Can قوله سبحانه وتعالى قال جل وعلا, as he mentioned earlier, 8. Allah mentions specifically 8 in the ayah. وَيَحْمِلُ عَرْشَ رَبِّكَ فَوْقَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ ثَمَانِيَةٌ وَيَحْمِلُ عَرْشَ رَبِّكَ فَوْقَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ ثَمَانِيَةٌ. And there will be 8 angels carrying their throne. Carrying the throne. 8. Allah mentioned in the ayah 8. Al-Haqqa, ayah number 17. So how do we say how many angels are carrying the throne? We say 8. How do we know it's 8? Because Allah told us in the Quran. Allah mentioned the number with detail, specifically 8. And that's what we say. We say 8 angels will carry the throne. So we believe in that detail the same way it came in the Quran. And this is the general rule for everything. Those things that come specific, we take them just how they came. And if they're general, we still believe that they're angels. We believe in them based on the generality that they were mentioned. So that was the third thing, which was the number. So we spoke about the description of the angels, the names of the angels, right? the number, how many angels there are. And then he goes on, وَوَظَائِفُ الْمَلَائِكَةِ وَأَعْمَالُهُم. The jobs, and what do they do? As certain angels have certain jobs, right? إِجْمَالًا هُمْ جُنْدٌ لِلَّهِ وَعِبَادٌ مُكْرَمُونَ. Generally, that the angels are one of the creation of Allah, one of the armies of Allah, the Jund. And they're worshippers. They're slaves of Allah. They worship Allah. Generally. They all do this. All of them. Some have specific jobs, but they all fall under this. That they're from Jundillah and that they're worshippers. Noble worshippers of Allah. كُلُّهُ وَكُلٌّ مِنْهُمْ قَائِمٌ بِمَا يَأْمُرُهُ اللَّهُ bihi atam qiyam. And every one of the angels, this is from the general belief in all of them, and we believe it is about all of them generally. Every one of the angels, they carry out what they're commanded to do. If Allah gives them the command, they fulfill the command to the perfectly, the best of their ability that it can be done. It says, لَيْسَ فِيهِمْ مَنْ يَعْصِيَ اللَّهِ فِي أَمْرِهِ. Based on the ayah. There's no angel that disobeys Allah. How do we know that? Because Allah told us in the Quran that the angels don't disobey Allah. It's easy. What's mentioned in the Quran, we say what's in the Quran. What's mentioned in the Sunnah, we say what's in the Sunnah. We don't have to make up anything. We don't have to guess. We don't have to imagine. We don't have to have a bad dream or a new. It's in the Revelation. We believe it. In Surah Al-Tahrim, ayat number 6, Al-Tahrim. Ayat number 6, Allah says, لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. He says لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم, that they do not disobey Allah and they do what they're commanded to do. This is what Allah said about the angels. They do not disobey Allah and they do what they are commanded to do. So the same qaida applies, the same principle applies. Whatever is mentioned about their jobs in detail, we believe, okay, this angel does this. He's responsible for this. And generally, they're all worshippers. They all worship Allah. None of them disobey Allah. That's general. The angels don't disobey Allah. They all do exactly what they're commanded to do. Specifically, Allah gave this angel this job, and this is what he does. طيب. He says, so we believe what came to the Quran and Sunnah. He says, فَمِنَ الْمَلَائِكَةِ مَنْ هُوَ مَوْكُولٌ بِالْوَحْيِ. From the angels, there's an angel who is responsible for the revelation, which is Jibreel alayhi salam. نزل به الروح الأمين. الروح الأمين يعني Jibreel in the ayah. طيب. He says, وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ مَوْكُولٌ بِقَبْضِ الْأَرْوَاحِ. From the angels, there's one that is responsible for taking the souls. There's an angel responsible for taking the souls. We call him angel of death. Allah said, قُلْ يَتَوَفَّاكُمْ مَلَكُ الْمَوْتِ الَّذِي وُكِّلَ بِكُمْ. It says about the angel that has been designated to take the soul, Malakul Maut. And this is in Surah As-Sajda, ayat number 11. Surah As-Sajda, ayat number 11. Malakul Maut. Ask Allah to give us all an intent upon obedience. Amen. It says, وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ هُوَ مَوْقُولٌ بِحِفْظِ الْعَبْدِ. There's an angel designated for each person to protect the person. Now, he's not mentioning names, he's mentioning jobs or actions that they do. In Surah Al-Ra'd, ayat number 11, where Allah says, بَيْنِ يَدَيْهِ وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِ يَحْفُظُونَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِ اللَّهِ. Talking about the angels. لَهُ مُعَقِّبَاتٍ مِنْ بَيْنِ يَدَيْهِ. That he has angels in front of him, behind him, protecting them مِنْ أَمْرِ اللَّهِ. That's in Surah Al-Ra'd, ayat number 11. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ هُوَ مَوْكُولٌ بِالْكِتَابَةِ. And some of the angels are responsible for writing the deeds. Some of them are responsible for writing the deeds in Surah Al-Infitar. Ayat number 10 and 11. وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ كِرَامًا كَاتِبِينَ. Noble angels writing. And Allah said in another ayat, مَا يَلْفُظُ مِنْ قَوْلٍ إِلَّا لَدَيْهِ رَقِيبٌ عَتِيدٌ in Surah Qaf, ayat number 18. مَا يَلْفِظُ مِنْ قَوْلٍ, that a person does not make a statement. He does not make a statement, a person does not make a statement except لَدَيْهِ رَقِيبٌ عَتِيدٌ, that there's an angel writing what he's saying. Surah Qaf, ayat number 18. So these actions, we believe that what? Because in these ayat, there's not a name mentioned with every action. But we know that there's an angel who's responsible for writing. We know there's an angel who's responsible for doing this. We know so we believe that yes, there's an angel, and there's an angel who's specifically responsible for this action. If the name is mentioned, then we believe in the name along with it. If the name is not mentioned, we still believe that there's an angel responsible for that action. طيب. ومنهم من هو موكول بالقطر. And there's also an angel responsible for the rain. For the rain. Rain coming down, the raindrops. Mikael. It doesn't say here, but Mikael is. He says from other of those things that are mentioned with detail in the Sunnah. So all of those things, we believe in them with the detail that they came with, according to what's mentioned. If the name is mentioned along with the action that he's responsible for, we believe in the name and the action. If it's only the action mentioned, we believe, yes, there's an angel responsible for the action, according to the detail of the text itself, the ayat or the hadith. طيب. It says another hadith that shows some of the jobs of the angels. ما جاء في الحديث قال عليه الصلاة والسلام اجتمع قوم في بيت من بيوت الله يتلون كتاب الله ويتدارسونه بينهم إلا نزلت عليهم السكينة وغشيتهم الرحمة وحفتهم الملائكة. The hadith about gathering in the masjid to sit and study the Quran, recite the Quran, studying the Quran, except that sakina. The Prophet ﷺ said, when people do this, there's a tranquility, a calmness that comes down in the masjid. In mercy, Allah's mercy descends in the masjid. وَحَفَّتْهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةِ. And the angels cover those people that are doing that. There's no name mentioned. Huh? There's no name. We don't have a name for the angels that do that. But we know that there are angels that come, and this is the job they do when the people do this, when the people implement what's mentioned in the hadith. يَتَلُونَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ, reading the Quran, reciting the Quran in the masjid. يَتَدَارَسُونَهُ بَيْنَهُمْ, they're going back and forth, helping each other understand the Quran. Recite the Quran properly. There's a mistake here. When people do this, these things happen. Tranquility comes down in the masjid, the calmness, and those angels come for when they do that, even though that there's no name mentioned. طيب. قال صلى الله عليه وسلم عليه الصلاة والسلام, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said in another hadith, من سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما سهل الله له طريقا إلى الجنة. That whoever strives to seek knowledge out in the path of knowledge, then Allah will make that path, will make a path for him to Jannah easy, for the seeker of knowledge. Talib al-ilm, showing the importance of learning, that we shouldn't be okay not knowing. We shouldn't be comfortable being ignorant. We shouldn't be comfortable being ignorant. And it's not a problem that, ignorant meaning that we don't know something, not bad manners like we might use it. We shouldn't be comfortable not knowing. We shouldn't be comfortable not knowing. We have guidance from the Prophet ﷺ for the talib al-ilm, the one who seeks knowledge, that Allah will make the path to paradise easy for him. So there's no way in the world that we should be comfortable being ignorant. As it was mentioned, Sheikh Saleh Ali Sheikh said a nice statement that it's not an aid, there's nothing embarrassing about being ignorant, not knowing something. There's nothing embarrassing not to know something. As Imam Malik didn't know. Nobody encompasses all of the knowledge except Allah Jalla wa Ala. He said, it's not embarrassing or shameful not to know, but what is embarrassing or what is shameful is to continue not knowing. Not just that a person doesn't know, but a person continues not to know, and they have the ability to learn. So in this hadith, after the Prophet ﷺ said about the talib ilm, now he mentions وَإِنَّ الْمَلَائِكَةَ, and this is what the angels do for the talib ilm, for the one who seeks knowledge. The angels do this. There are a group of angels who do this. وَإِنَّ الْمَلَائِكَةَ لَتَضَعُ أَجْنِحَتَهَا رِضًا لِطَالِبِ الْعِلْمِ, and the angels lower their wings out of pleasure of what the student of knowledge does. This hadith أخرجه أحمد وأبو داود والترمذي وابن ماجه وصححه الألباني في الصحيح الجامع. So the angels lower their wings out of pleasure and being pleased with what the talib ilm does, the seeker of knowledge, the person who's trying to learn how to be an upright Muslim, and they're not comfortable with being ignorant and behaving like, as some of the non-Muslims might say, you're a real Muslim. If they can distinguish, and they say they're a real Muslim or you're not a real Muslim, they distinguish based on actions. Some of our actions alone are terrible. Allah understand. Therefore, even the kuffar, they say he's a real Muslim, or he's not a real Muslim, or he's not like this, or she's not like that. The angels lower their wings out of pleasure for the talib ilm. And there are other ahadith. So in this hadith, it shows that yes, they're angels. It didn't mention their names, but it mentioned an action or a job that they do. And the actions that they lower their wings out of pleasing. They're pleased with what the actions of what the talib ilm is doing, and therefore they come and they do these actions. And this is the general rule. So now he mentions this: فطالب العلم يمشي إلى حلقة العلم ويجلس فيها يوميا ولا يرى الملائكة. He said, think about this. So the student of knowledge, he goes to his lessons, his classes that he's going to study to learn. Every day he goes to his classes, he sits, he learns, and he doesn't even see the angels that are there. Allahu Akbar. And those angels are pleased with what he is doing, the talib ilm, the seeker of knowledge, what they're doing. La yarahum. And they don't see him, the talib ilm doesn't see him, but the angels are there engulfing, pleased with the action of learning about Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So even though we don't see him, those angels, the Prophet ﷺ said they're there. Even though we don't see him, he said, لَكِنَّهُ نُؤْمِنُ بِذَلِكَ. We believe that they're there. As you said before, it's from ilm al-ghayb. It's from the unseen. The only way that we know the unseen is through revelation. And he has certainty. We're certain with that. We don't have any doubt. Allah mentioned there are 8 angels that carry the throne. We believe with no doubt there are going to be 8 angels carrying the throne. Allah says some of the angels have 2 wings, some have 3, some have 4. We should have no doubt in our belief. Some of the angels have 2 wings, some of them have 3 wings, some of them have 4, some of them have more, based on revelation, not based on that we have to guess anything. He says, لأنه يؤمن بالغيب وهذا الإيمان له أثره على العبد وله وقعه في النصوص. So this is because we don't have any doubt. Why don't we have any doubt? Because the stuff is already mentioned in the nusus. It's mentioned in the text. It's mentioned in Revelation, so we don't have any doubt in the revelation. He said that last hadith also shows the nobility and the status that the angels come down in the masjid when the people are reciting Quran, and the people are teaching each other and trying to understand the Quran. And the next hadith that said that the talib ilm, the one who goes on the path to seek knowledge, that Allah makes a path to paradise easy for him. and the angels come down. He said that hadith shows the greatness and the status of learning, seeking knowledge. There's no way we should be comfortable with being ignorant of the basics of al-Islam, no matter what is popular. Right now, ignorance is popular. Ignorance right now, to be jahl, to be ignorant about something is like the new thing. I don't know, I ain't no student anyway. I ain't no student. No matter what the ignorant people promote and are upon, Islam doesn't promote ignorance. Not at all. He said those last two hadith show the status of seeking knowledge and learning, and that the angels come down pleased for what the seeker of knowledge does. And we'll stop there until next week. As the next asl, al-asl al-thalith min usul al-iman, al-imanu bil-kutub al-munazzala. Belief in the books, the revealed books that came, is the third pillar of faith. The third pillar of faith is belief in the books, and we'll stop for next week. Any questions? طيب سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك واشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك.